The life story of Iran's last empress, Farah Pahlavi, is so incredible that Hollywood announced a movie about her. Thanks to her, women in Iran started driving cars and wearing European clothes. But after the Iranian Revolution, everything changed. The queen had to flee the country with her husband and children under threat of death. What terrible trials and losses did she endure? Where is she now? And how does the exiled queen plan to reclaim her throne in light of recent developments between Iran and Israel? Watch the video to the end to find out. Let's get started. Farah Pahlavi's life was divided into two parts. The first was like an oriental fairy tale, and the second was bitter and full of loss. She was born in 1938 in Tabriz, a city in northwestern Iran. Farah was the only child of an army officer, and her grandfather held a high diplomatic post. Her family was considered one of the wealthiest and most respected in the country. After her father's death, the family became impoverished and Farah and her mother had to move from their own mansion to live with relatives in Tehran, the capital of Iran. There she studied at the French school and was determined to go to France and become an architect after graduation. At the time, it was believed in Iran that the profession of architecture was exclusively for men. Nevertheless, Farah stood her ground and enrolled in the prestigious Paris School of Architecture. In 1959, the Iranian embassy organized a celebration for Iranian students living in Paris. The best students were invited to a reception where they would be greeted by the Shah of Iran himself, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. 21-year-old Farah was among the guests. The Iranian king read the greeting and urged the students to study harder. At that moment, he met the eyes of young Farah, and the destiny of two people changed dramatically. It was love at first sight. The girl felt the same, as she later wrote in her memoirs. Mohammed was exactly 40 years old at the time. Despite their 19-year age difference, he was a very attractive man, and for the common people of Iran, the Shah was a legendary figure. He had also been divorced for a year from his second wife, Soraya, who had failed to produce an heir to the throne. At Mohammed's request, his eldest daughter twice invited young Farah to her home for dinner, where she and the Shah chatted sweetly. The naive girl thought these were chance meetings, but when Mohammed offered Farah to marry him, she did not refuse because she had already fallen in love with him. At that time, she had no idea of the tragedies that would be in store for her. 6 months after their acquaintance, an unprecedented wedding was held in splendor that Iran has never seen. The wedding dress was personally designed by Yves Saint Laurent and the best masters of the fashion house Dior. The tiara was made of 325 diamonds, and the central place on it was taken by the world's largest pink diamond, Noor-ul-Ayn, the heritage of the rulers of ancient Persia. The tiara weighed 2 kilograms. It took the bride's hairdressers about 3 hours to fix the massive tiara on the future queen's head. The wedding lasted several days and was watched by the whole world. The following October, Farah gave birth to a child. Fortunately for the Pahlavi dynasty, it turned out to be a long-awaited boy. The heir to the throne was named Reza. Over the next 10 years, she gave birth to another son and 2 daughters. One of them was Princess Leila, whose tragic fate we have already told you about. Queen Farah became the standard for women in Iran. She was always elegantly dressed, spoke several foreign languages, and championed women's rights. She was admired and called Jackie Kennedy of the East. Thanks to her, Iranian women started wearing European clothes and driving cars. She even convinced her husband to allow the obscene Playboy magazine to be published in Iran. The people of the country had probably never felt such freedom before. The Shah himself openly admired his wife's activities and courage. He trusted her completely and listened to her opinions. Finally, in 1967, Mohammed took an unprecedented step and decided to give Farah the title of empress. He gave his wife the highest powers and the status of regent. If the Shah died before his heir came of age, Farah would inherit the throne. Such an honor had not been bestowed on a royal consort since the 7th century. Not everyone in Iran was happy with Shah Mohammed's policies. Muslim leader Khomeini was among those who believed the Shah had turned away from traditional values in favor of Western debauchery. Even after Ayatollah Khomeini was exiled from the country, he continued to lead a revolutionary group of supporters in exile. These men called on the people to overthrow the monarchy. Despite all his good intentions, the Shah of Iran made a big mistake for which he paid an exorbitant price. In September 1978, a demonstration gathered outside the palace demanding regime change. Mohammed decided to send in soldiers, giving them full carte blanche. They opened fire on the crowd, resulting in thousands of casualties. This massacre ignited such a fire of discontent among the Iranian people that it could not be extinguished. Mohammed's family had to leave the country immediately. They spent the next year moving from place to place. The leaders who came to power in Iran vowed to destroy the Shah and pursued him around the world. Moving and stress undermined Mohammed's health, and in the summer of 1980 he died of cancer in Egypt. Thus ended the love of Farah Pahlavi's life. First she lost her power and title, then her husband and her love, but she still had 4 children. For the sake of their future, she lived and struggled in exile for many years. After the death of Shah Mohammed, U.S. President Ronald Reagan allowed Farah and her children to settle in the United States. She made every effort to give her princes and princesses a proper upbringing and education. She spent almost all of the money her husband left her to help Iranian refugees fleeing the Islamic Revolution. After 20 years, Farah Pahlavi decided to tell the truth about her life and the terrible events in Iran. After finishing the last line of her memoirs, it turned out that the book was not about politics, but about love. It was eventually called An Enduring Love: My Life with the Shah. This publication became an event in the literary life of the world. The book was studied by political scientists and psychologists, and in Russia they even created the ballet Scheherazade based on it. Shortly before the book was published, Farah's daughter, Princess Leila, died tragically. And in 2011, her youngest son, Ali Reza, committed suicide due to depression. They never managed to overcome the severe stress of their early years. Farah Pahlavi is now 86 years old. She lives alone in the small town of Potomac near Washington, D.C. Every year, she visits her beloved husband's grave in Egypt, and on her social media pages, she talks about the problems of her faraway homeland. She is often visited by her eldest son, his wife, and 3 granddaughters. Some Iranian expatriates call him Shah because, as heir to the throne, he assumed the title and duties of head of the Pahlavi house after his father's death. Some Iranians, especially young people, hope for dramatic changes in the country and the return of the royal family. The Queen of Iran has been in exile for more than 45 years. Many major publications say that she and her eldest son will challenge Iran's Islamic regime by creating an opposition movement. In light of recent developments between Iran and Israel, the royal family may seize the moment and reclaim their throne. Perhaps Empress Farah can wait for that moment and set foot on the land where she once lived so happily with her husband and children. What do you think of this dramatic life story of Empress Farah Pahlavi? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching and see you soon.